Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to day 9 of the 14-day Petermont Vloggerinos 14-day self-love challenge, Valentine's Day challenge, Galentine Day challenge, whatever you'd like to call it. It's all about love. So today's prompt, wait a minute, before we get into anything, let me just welcome to town. You obviously you're aware of it, but let me welcome to town the Darling Jolly Joe convention, because it's right here. It's on the side of my head, and they're acting up. They're acting a fool, and they're just waving their flags all over the place. So just let them be. They're over here just having a good time on the side of my head. So today's prompt is about unconditional love. Talk about someone who has taught you about or shown you unconditional love in your life. So it's all about love. So I've had quite a few people in my life who've shown me unconditional love. I'm going to go through just a few. My first one is my mother. My mother, Dolly, is the greatest person that I have ever known or will ever know. She's always been there. She's just always been there for me. And if I did good, she was there. If I did bad, she was there. My mother is not one to sugarcoat things. Like if I'm being an asshole, then she'll say, hey, be a little bit of an a-hole. She doesn't really swear too much, but she will say, hey, a little bit of a jerk. Or if I'm just, whining or, crying or something, she'll be like, why? I mean, sometimes I don't appreciate, sometimes I just want her to be like, oh, it's okay. Just don't, it's okay. Just have your cry. But a lot of times she'll just say, come on, snap out of it. Like snap out of it. Except she won't smack me in the face. She'll just be like, she'll just say, that nonverbal smack across the face of like, come on, snap out of it. So my mother, like I said, my mom has been there for me through the good times and through the bad. And we just have for me, living here for the last, 21 years? I mean, me and my mom now are more, we have that mother-daughter relationship, but we have that best friend relationship too. So my mom is the first person that has shown me unconditional love and has taught me how to show others unconditional love. Next, I would have to say my best friend, Terry. And my best friend, Terry, is the best good Judy that I could have. And she's my ride or die. She's literally has said to me, who do I got to fight? What bitch do I got to fight? And she would. And she's been there through the ups and the downs. We've been known each other for 21 years. She's been my best friend for probably about 16 or 17 of those years. So she is my ride or die. She's always, and once again, she's not always a yes woman. She's sometimes, if I need to hear it, then she'll just tell it like it is. Like, hey, listen, I know you might not want to hear this, and so she's unconditionally, always on my side. Always, 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 always. She's my ride or die. That's it. That's my girl. Now, the other ones that they've shown me unconditional love. And I can guarantee this is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a real tough one. But we have had 5 dogs. And each one of them has just something about a dog. As soon as, or a pet. I mean, as soon as you come home, they're there. They don't judge you. They just want to love you and to be loved. And that's it. And we've had 5 dogs. We had Butch, who we did not adopt Butch. Butch was the only one we did not adopt. Butch came from my brother's girlfriend at the time. Her dog had puppies, and we took one of them, and we took Butch. Butch was a Black Lab Shar Pei mix. Then we had Beamer. Oh. And then we had Beamer. And we adopted Beamer from the Humane Society down in Pittsburgh on the North Shore. And Beamer was such a sweet boy. And Butch was too. I wasn't living here whenever we had Butch, and I loved Butch. And he was a real good dog. Like, you could put Butch out in the backyard and just without a leash, and he would just go out, do his business, come right back out. He wouldn't run or anything. He was so gentle. He was very gentle. And Beamer was a Black Lab Pit Bull. And he was sweet. He was just so sweet. And then came Pepper Lou. We gave all of our dogs middle names. There was Butch Clay, Beamer Lee, Pepper Lou. And Pepper, we had gotten Pepper up at Action for Animals in Derry, and he was a Papillon. He was black and white. He had the big ears, and he barked. My dad got him because he was like, "Oh, look at him. He's not barking at all." He liked that he didn't bark, and then he came here and he just barked. He just barked constantly, and he was a smart little boy. He was a really smart little boy. And then we got Maisie. Maisie and Pepper were in the same pen. And we had gotten Maisie first. Maisie needed to be, and Maisie had to, if of all things, I mean, women problems for her, before we could take her home, she had to have some teeth pulled, and she had to get fixed. So you had to get like a hysterectomy and a root canal all in the same day. That's terrible. And Maisie, when we first got her, she couldn't walk on grass. She had no idea of what it was, because she was rescued from a puppy mill, and she had never walked on grass. And we just got her a different leash, and then she started walking on grass. And that little girl, she opened my eyes to puppy mills. And she was such a little diva sometimes. Like, she would give Pepper that look. Like, she would be sitting up on the couch, and she would give Pepper that look of like she would stare at him, and he would like just lay on the floor. But he watched over her like nobody's business. He protected her. I remember one day, and she, from time to time, would have small seizures, and the one day we had to keep her in a pen and then keep him outside whenever they ate, because she would eat all his food. And one day my mom was doing laundry, and he came over and was pawing at my mom, and she went over, and Maisie was starting to have a seizure. And, you know, my mom picked her up, and we would just, we would pet her, and we would tell her what a good girl she was. And he sat there the whole time, and he watched over her. That was his girl. They were just meant for each other. But they just showed you just like you would come home. I would come home from work when I was working in Pittsburgh, and I would come home from work and there would be Maisie standing right up at the top of the steps staring down at me. We would say she had on little fur pants because her legs, the fur would stick out all white and fluffy. And it, she was just my soulmate. She was just, there is not a day that goes by that I don't miss, that I just don't cry over her. Thank goodness I didn't pull an Erica Girardi and use some non-waterproof makeup. Oh yeah, that's right, I don't have any makeup on. So, and now we have Jack. And Jack, we got him last year, or 2 years ago, and he was 11. And we purposely, the last 4 dogs we've had have all been seniors. We've adopted seniors because why don't they deserve some love like the puppies do? So why don't they? So that's what we did. And Jack is just such a wonderful dog. Like whoever didn't want to adopt him because he was older is really missing out. He is just like, he's a perfect companion dog. He's just right there by your side. Usually he's begging for a treat, but he's the first dog that when you say, I love you, like he really actually understands the words, and he really like perks up whenever you say it. And if you say it in the right way, then if you sing it, he'll sing it back to you. It sounds like he's saying, I love you. But Jack is just a wonderful little boy. He was, sadly, my father didn't get to spend as much time with Jack as the others. He had less than a year with him, but Jack loved my dad. Jack loved my dad so much. He would go in the morning and he would crawl under the blanket with him. My dad would just be laying on the couch because he couldn't sleep in the bed because the mattress hurt his back. So he would just sleep on the reclining sofa. And Jack would go in the morning and he would climb underneath it with my dad. But dogs for me, all of my dogs have just shown unconditional love, and just, there's nothing to me like a dog's love, just dogs are perfection. So I'd love to know what you guys, who has shown you unconditional love in your life, and put it in the comments, and I will see you on day 10. We only have 4 days left after that. Okay, guys, talk to you later, and remember, when you put kindness out in the world, it always comes back at you, now or later. Bye, guys.